I just want people to remember that their potential is limitless, but it all starts in the mind. Theory and application are two totally different things. So it's important to remind yourself, but then you got to do some kind of work.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Julian. He is the second, previously episode 49 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been 3 years, 1 month, 3 days, 21 hours, and 45 minutes since we last recorded.
I want people to focus on creating more and consuming less. Be a doer instead of just a witness on the sidelines. And start reading for at least 30 minutes a day. I think it will change your life.
That was then. This is now. How are you going, my friend?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, and time flies.
Yeah. I think it has jet engines now. I think before it had wings. I think, jet engines are the thing that goes on that now.
They definitely added to their engine to make it go faster.
Yeah. I think there's some nitrous in there as well too. But it's such a good pleasure, a great pleasure to connect with you. The last time we spoke, Body Architect was going on, and then we got to speak in between. Like, we got connected recently, had a super great conversation, just to catch up for the podcast audience. They are getting this recording, so give us an update, please.
Yeah, so wow, it's been a long time. Yeah. So, man, I am learning and growing every day, and I don't remember if I was writing for magazines as much back then, but I am now. So I'm writing for Inc. magazine now. So I write there
Sweet,
fairly
congratulations.
weekly. I'm still coaching individuals, and then I'm listening to music as always, even more. So that's and so, but yeah, man, I'm just enjoying the moment and seeing where it takes me.
Now, are you where we spoke to you the first time geographically?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville,
Sweet.
Tennessee at the moment right now, and it's super hot right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you walk outside and you're gonna start sweating.
Oh my. Yeah, well, it's intriguing. In the Caribbean, it's not that sunny. It's the rainy season. So we have two seasons here. It's the rainy season, so it's not that hot. I cannot imagine Tennessee being that hot. I've not experienced that. So soul education is going on. That's intriguing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Through the music, right? You've continued with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That I still love that song. We talk about that all the time. That's still my jam.
So the book, what's going on with that? Are you writing now that you've started writing for Ink more regularly? Are you going to do another book?
Yeah, so I have 2 to 3 pretty solid book ideas, I think, that I want to write. I think one or two are health related and the other is not health related. It's more like essays. But you kind of just need the space and the time for that.
Hmm.
And so now is not the right season. I kind of like to approach my quarters with just maybe one or two big goals, and then just so I can focus. That was a problem for me in the past, was trying to take care of everything in 3 months, trying to solve all the world's problems in 3 months. So I stick to 1 to 2 things, but I definitely plan to have another book out by 2020 at some point.
It's interesting with individuals how one accomplishes something and then one asks a question like, are you going to do another book? Hey, I wrote one book. What's up? Like, let's count from there, right? like, let's count from there. It's intriguing how one thing then catapults into another thing. And I think it's important to have checkpoints. And the 3 month format of having those checkpoints really help, doesn't it?
Yeah. I kind of look at it as you're taking some sprints instead of running a marathon. Everything's broken down into sprints, and that's very attractive to me because in real life, I don't like to run long distance. I prefer to sprint as well. So it all meshes with me much better.
Let's dig into the coaching aspect of what you're doing now as well, please.
Yeah, so I've added a little bit on there now. So I'm now doing cool things like genetic testing and other blood testing into my practice now to be a little more precise with recommendations now and what we can do in terms of improving one's performance. Now, I like to call it kind of entering a new paradigm to where you are leveraging technology now. We have these awesome wearables, which is helpful for data as well. We're leveraging technology and the other tools that we have available now to really dial it in and to be more precise.
Your confidence has increased tremendously as well because this is something you've tried on yourself, yes?
Yes, yeah, I'm a human guinea pig. Yeah, I have one of these devices on now. This morning, I was just looking over like my sleep and my distribution of that and like my heart rate and all that good stuff.
Where's the best place for someone to connect with you that's listening?
Yeah, so the home base is always the Art of Fitness and Life, and you will see everything there.
Hmm. Fitness has been huge. I mean, you can use your picture. The last time I looked at it, you could just like, bam, like the way the police shows their ID, right? Like, bam, this is me, all chiseled. Have you had any regrets looking back from now to then, the work you've done?
Uh, no, because I think I truly believe everything is supposed to happen how it's supposed to happen. And that's easy to accept in theory, but every time I look back now, these lessons have been really good because I've been able to extract something from that moment to help me where I am right now, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment. But I really think like one of the keys to really being a high performer and achieving your biggest goals is to embrace and sit with being uncomfortable and the discomfort.
Hmm. Being uncomfortable and the discomfort. Expand on that, please.
Yeah, so most people are probably like me. You want to be somewhere else, or you already want the second book, or you want to move faster in your business, or you want to move faster with your health. You want the 20 pounds to be off right now. And it's just not going to be that way. And so there's that, we're creating that discomfort right now. That pain is being exposed of, we're not at the weight we want. We don't have the business that we want. And we're exposing ourselves to that pain. And the worst thing to do in that instance is to run away from it or to try to block it out and act like it's not there. Where I say embrace that discomfort, embrace not being where you want right now, and leverage that to use it for momentum and motivation every day.
Hmm. Love that. Love that. Now, you touched on creating more and consuming less. Are you still doing that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You read a ton, don't you?
Yeah. hmm
What would you suggest to those that are listening as a starter point to enter into that pain? What's a good way to have that conversation with themselves?
The discomfort. Well, I would say it's easy. So write down what do you want. Somebody can say, for example, I want to weigh X amount and then where you are right now and you see okay, I'm here at such and such, and there's a gap in the middle of whatever difference there is, and then what are you doing to get there? So how would a person who weighs X and X and has this type of health, how would they act? And then you can match it up with what you're doing right now, and then you can subtly start to shift into becoming that person, to doing some of those habits.
So important. What would you say to the younger you, looking back from now to then? What would you say to the younger you?
Everything is not the end of the world. So I remember I always like if something went wrong or something didn't go my way, I would have a tendency to blow it out of proportion a little more and
Hmm.
think, oh man, this is it. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get another chance. And so things are not as big as you make them out to be
Hmm.
95% of the time.
That's good. That's good. Well, my friend, I want to say thanks, Julian. It's really, 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 really such a great pleasure to be able to connect with you, be your podcast accountability partner, and check in, 3 years, 1 month, 3 days, 21 hours, and 45 minutes. And, like to hear the maturity, the wisdom over the years that have increased from my listening. It's really a fascinating opportunity. So I want to say thank you for being true to your own unique real self. It's really motivating and inspiring on this trek that we are calling life. In closing, Julian, he is the second. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I just want people to kind of remember that they're limitless. Their potential is limitless, but it all starts in the mind. And this is something I have to remind myself every day because theory and application are two totally different things. So It's important to remind yourself, but then you got to do some kind of work to make it come to fruition.
Love it. Julian, here's again a great pleasure. A pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.